Good afternoon. My name is Anna Lambert Blinn, and this is my informative speech and my note card. The year is 1888. You are a prostitute in Arles, France, and you just received a gift from a local painter. You open it and scream. The gift is the painter's ear, which he has cut off and given it to you. Now, if you know anything about art, you know I'm talking about Vincent van Gogh and his psychotic episodes. Vincent van Gogh is the epitome of the tortured artist. And many art forms, such as paintings, books, movie shows, and TV, have been affected by him today and by this tortured artist stereotype. So obviously, it's important to talk about. Now, as an avid artist myself, I've often been interested in this topic and have done tons of research, even before this project, so I feel comfortable talking about it. Vincent van Gogh had mental illness, that's undeniable. However, many art critics have become to narrow it down today to either schizophrenia, major depressive disorder, or bipolar disorder. And today we are going to talk about the psychotic episodes that make us think he had schizophrenia, the destructive behaviors he exhibited that make us believe he might have major depressive disorder, and as well as the highs and lows that he would experience during his lifetime that led us to believe that he may have had bipolar disorder. Now, for starters, let's discuss why many art critics believe that he may in fact have had schizophrenia. According to the Van Gogh Art Museum, he was put in a mental hospital for a full year, but was soon released on good behavior. Now, he would have several episodes over the course of the next few months. And these episodes were so severe that he actually admitted himself to the mental hospital again. Now, while he was there on his second trip, he would tell his brother Theo through a letter that he would hear auditory hallucinations and that he would see things shift before his eyes. He would also go through periods of paralysis where he could not move and where he was uninterested in doing art, which greatly affected him. Now, according to WebMD, people with schizophrenia cannot tell their perceptions from their reality. They do not remember what they do or say during their episodes, and often they will go through periods of paralysis, or they will go through periods of being extremely jumpy and moving a lot. Now, we know that Vincent van Gogh displayed all these behaviors because of the evidence I just described to you. So, many art critics have come to the conclusion today that he may in fact have had schizophrenia. Now that we discussed the evidence supporting schizophrenia, let's discuss the evidence supporting him having major depressive disorder. On top of all the behaviors that he exhibited above, he also had many destructive behaviors. According to the Museum of Fine Arts at Boston, he would often skip meals, consume copious amounts of alcohol, and even smoke. Now, these behaviors are bad enough on their own, but combined with his already poor mental health and his psychotic episodes, he knew what he was doing was hurting him, and yet he couldn't stop. Now, this is described by WebMD as a symptom of depression, specifically in males. Depression in males often exhibits itself as harm to yourself or to others, and also as extreme suicidal thoughts, which we know that he had because he told his brother, Theo, that he could think of nothing better than for him to not wake another day. We also know that he experienced periods where he would lose interest in his art because of the catatonia I talked about earlier, aka the paralysis. Now, this is also a symptom of depression, unfortunately. Now that we've talked about the schizophrenia and the major depressive disorder that he may have had, let's talk about the evidence of bipolar disorder that we believe that he may have had. Now, in 1890, he would produce 75 paintings and over 100 drawings and sketches in the period of 70 days. That is incredible if you know anything about art. This was a major time of productivity for him, and it wasn't just because he was enjoying his art. In fact, many people, according to Psych Central, believe that this may have been what we call a manic episode. A manic episode occurs during people with bipolar disorder, where, according to Mayo Clinic, they're very productive and they make poor decisions, such as his destructive behaviors. He also experienced depressive episodes. In the very same year, as soon as he was done with this period of 70 days where he would do all his paintings, he shot himself in the chest. People during depressive depressive episodes often struggle with suicidal thoughts and even suicidal attempts, which is very unfortunate, which have led many people, mainly art critics, to believe that he had major bipolar disorder. So, Vincent van Gogh had definitely some kind of mental illness, but today we believe that it may have been schizophrenia, major depressive disorder, or bipolar disorder. Today we discuss the psychotic episodes that he went through, we discuss the destructive behaviors he exhibited, and we discuss the highs and lows that he exhibited, or the manic and depressive phases. Now, next time you look at a Starry Night, or just at any art in general, think of if it brings you peace. If it does, you should be lucky. Because for Vincent van Gogh, his art brought him peace, but it was never enough, leaving him to cut off his own ear and to even commit suicide. So next time you look at a piece of art, think, how far would you go for peace?